I haven't done one of these in a while, so please bear with me. Hello there, my name is Ben, and welcome back to Play the Game Central. And today we're going to be talking about the best, specifically highlighted on YouTube, and what it means, how it's subjective, how no one seems to care about being it, and how we can potentially change that. Now, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like on the video, it's the one with the thumb pointing towards the sky, or to heaven if you're religious. Click the heaven button. Never click the hell button, because if one Christian clicks the hell button, they all go to hell. It's like lemmings. It's great. So we're going to talk about the best, and it seems to me that YouTube doesn't really care about that anymore. YouTube is now completely not interested in quality on the whole, and is just interested in quantity, which, you know, that may work for some people as a business model. I know it works for some of the slightly large channels who just seem to get views regardless of what kind of videos they put out. But, you know, I work one day a week now for YouTube, and I do quite boring things, basically herding people towards viral videos and repopulating certain YouTube companies and networks with videos, and kind of haranguing videos together and or content together to make kind of mega channels and things like that. Because remember, the highest kind of scoring and highest subscription individuals, like people like PewDiePie and Fleur de Force, all that lot, they're nothing compared to the YouTube channel, the YouTube networks, who are gigantic. I mean, they are literally like amoeba compared to some of the YouTube companies who do incredible work and whose collective subscriptions can sometimes be in excess of 500 million. One of them is nearing 1 billion now. So, I mean, there's subscribers, this is, you know, as a collective network. It's a lot of people. So just bear that in mind. But it seems like quality isn't afforded for anymore. You know, some people make vlogs. Vlogs are the least amount of effort you could put into anything on YouTube. That's, for me, at least. And remember, this is completely opinionated and subjective, and so you're entitled to your opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion in the description, because I feel this is an important matter and not many people are kind of looking into it, apart from YouTube, which I'll get onto in a bit. Vlogs are at the bottom of the pile for me. And then there are videos like Vsauce is a good example. I've watched Vsauce for a very long time. Okay, his video quality may not be the best on earth, but the research and development of those videos is incredible. I mean, and he's not alone. There are many channels like that. But it just seems to be that those kind of channels are completely dwarfed by the lowest common denominator content, which is what YouTube calls it. And that's a shame. No, I was just about to tell you that YouTube are taking steps. They're actually taking steps, but they now know of this issue. There's a far smaller video company called Vimeo, who I used to do a bit of work for as well. They are actually a real competitor for YouTube, and it seems like every time I work with YouTube, that's all I hear about is Vimeo, because it appears, and it's not just appears, it's fact, that if you're serious about video making, if you are a kind of, you know, producer or director, or you make really high quality videos, or you're proud of your content, it gets released on Vimeo 9 times out of 10. And that's what YouTube hate, is that, you know, YouTube used to be this place. It originally started for like little clips and things that, you know, you wanted to share with your mates. Then it became this kind of existentially slightly more qualitative state. It had this kind of almost unknown quality to it, that people were finding these interesting videos, and, you know, a lot of channels were created at that time that later became bigger things, but those channels started with slightly more creative, and it feels like a lot more care was taken at the beginning. And as they've grown, that kind of laziness ensues, and they become lazy. And that's a real shame, because they lose that original spark. Kind of happened to Play the Game, and I'll get onto that as well. But, you know, okay, the best that I've made that you would know of on YouTube, because I did lots and lots of things on YouTube, but you knew of the gaming stuff. You know a little bit of the music stuff, but again, like 5%. But the gaming stuff was mainly on Play the Game. I did have another channel as well, which I might one day, or I might link it in the description of this video. I don't know. It was different. But, you know, with Play the Game, I made home videos. And that was something that I look back on it now and I just think, well, this quality is not what I could do now. You know, I could do far, far better than this. But at the time, you know, I was kind of new to video editing and, you know, it wasn't never really was my skill set. I'm a musician and a producer. That skill set was kind of afforded to me and it's not where I originally wanted to be. But those videos at the time were the best that I could make. They took a really long time to make, a lot of research. You know, I didn't just go to COD Wiki like all these other fucking idiots do. We actually spent time in-game looking at the kind of stats, actually kind of multiplying and subtracting, you know, gun averages to make sure that we had the correct, you know, reload speed, the correct fire rate, all of these things, which are really, really important. And luckily with World at War and Black Ops 1, we could get those in slow-mo. Black Ops 2 was a lot harder to do that and almost impossible because theatre mode was so unreliable that it was very difficult to know if the speed was correct or not. So home was the best that I could do at the time. And it's funny that home has kind of stood the test of time because it's still the best. There is no one else who can beat that and it's been years. So, I mean, and if you look at the quality of the very first home video, I assure you that it beats absolutely the quality of everyone else now. Like today, it will beat anyone else's quality. Because I was thinking about the future when I made it. And everyone was saying, you know, well, 1080p is kind of, do you need it at the time? And now people are saying 4K, do you need it? Now, I don't know. Well, okay, there's like a couple of my friends who don't have a 4K TV. And, you know, it's going to evolve and evolve. So it's very important that these decisions are made very, very early on when these technologies come through to make sure that you stand the test of time when it's important, which is the future. Play the Game is different because, you know, we started off as a very kind of tight-knit bunch of people. And then it felt like we had all these subscribers and it felt like, you know, we could be offering other people a chance to get in on some of these subscribers. So we had a directorship program, which is still in effect today and is doing very well. And it seems like those people to kind of, you know, if their videos are good enough, some of our subscribers slip over to them and, you know, enjoy their content too. So it's kind of a win-win thing. But it seems that the community's response to not just that, but that, as well as a few other things, was fairly negative because they liked the original videos. They liked things like the Stranger Dangers, which will probably come back. They liked a lot of those original kind of Inception things, but of course times change and people's lives get just insurmountably busy. Like, it's incredible. And, you know, some people fall out. You know, we've lost members at Play the Game, which is a real shame because that was never necessary. None of this was ever necessary. And it feels like some of those people were a lot more valued than others. You know, there was a time at Play the Game about 6 months ago where I didn't know any directors' names, didn't know anything because I was so busy in real life. It was just, I couldn't do that. Now I know the current directors' names. I know them all of their names and things like that. And I'm here at Play the Game now with one main role, which is quality and making sure that our quality is the best that it can be, because to me, it's really, really important. There are so many people who don't give a shit about quality, you know. Nemesis and Exodus just came out. And Exodus, by the way, you may realise that that's a play on the Extinction album if you haven't heard it. You know, the kind of Genesis to Exodus thing. It's very, very important. And it seems like the people who are covering Exodus, other than Play the Game, did it early and did it wrong, which is a real shame because to date, I've not seen a single YouTuber who understands the ending of Exodus. They think that it's something that it's completely not. And it's basic English that they're listening to. So it's just a real shame that they are kind of not on the same wavelength as maybe they should be. Because it was a real twist at the end of Exodus that none of them got. None of them understood it. So I will make a storyline video because I can't be the only one on Earth. Feels like I'm in Extinction now. The only one on Earth who understands the ending. Come on. Anyway, but the best is really important to me, always has been incredibly important to me. And is it important to you? That's what it comes down to. Is the best important to you? Because are you happy with daily content? I'm not, personally. I don't care about daily content. I don't care about looking at my subscriptions and thinking, oh, well, where's their video? That is not important to me at all. I like quality. I don't mind consistency, but daily is too consistent. And then kind of quantity becomes far more overbearing than quality. And that really isn't the way I don't think Play the Game set out to be. Don't think it's the way that it ever should have been and the way that it should be in the future. I think that our quality should always trump our quantity. But what do you think? Is this something, have I just rambled for a bit? Because this is an important subject, and I think it should be important, and it is important to YouTube. Believe me on that, it's very important to YouTube. Not the Play the Game issues, but the idea of quality and the best content online. They want it to be on YouTube, because at the moment it's not. And we're left with what they call lowest common denominator content. And I don't ever want Play the Game to slip into that. And so I'm essentially quality assurance. I'm here to make sure that our directors, the kind of principals, and everyone are making the best that they can, and that they're proud of their content. I'm not sure if there's many videos on Play the Game that I'm not proud of, that I've made, because it's so important to me that I was proud of everything I made, because why put it up if I'm not proud of it, even if it's Stranger Dangers? I mean, I'm incredibly proud of those, because they are probably the funniest live comms on YouTube. I mean, I'm not joking. We had some really interesting personalities, and if you think of Lax, who is just this really straight-edged guy, and then there's me and Boop, who, I mean, it's just, it was animal cruelty in a way. It's like we're kicking a fucking koala in the eye repeatedly, and then putting a kind of, you know, one of those plastic forks, sticking a plastic fork into his arm and then pulling it back so that it snapped, so it just left the teethy bit. Oh, it's terrible what we were doing to Lax. But he fucked off, so he clearly understood that after a while. But no, there are a lot of things I'm proud of on Play the Game. And are you interested in quality? Should we start bringing them back? Do you want to see some kind of really extensive research and really interesting videos and well-edited, well-produced, well-directed videos? Or do you want daily content? Is that what it's come to now to please you? Do you want daily content? Because we could always do a bit of both, but daily content, I just hate those two words. I really hate them, and that's not being the best. That's not being the best. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to me ramble for I don't know how long this has been. If you don't mind leaving a like, I'm only asking for likes because it shows me that you care about things, and that's obviously incredibly important. And we've got some really interesting videos around the corner for you. And thanks. See you soon. Love to you, Nan. Au revoir.